As the news of Iran-Israel ceasefire broke, global stock markets reacted positively. In the United States, the S&P 500 futures rose 0.6%, while Nasdaq futures climbed 0.9% earlier today. In Europe, Euro Stoxx 50 futures was up 1.3%, and London's FTSE futures gained 0.4%. Then in Asia, India's equity benchmark indexes gained about 1% in early trade, reaching their highest level since early October. The MSCI's Asia-Pacific index outside Japan jumped 1.8%. Furthermore, Japan's Nikkei rallied 1.4% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng index surged 1.7%. Besides, markets in Singapore, Sydney and Taipei also surged as investors breathed a sigh of relief following President Trump's ceasefire announcement.
The market is currently in a good mood and but cautiously good mood, and really depends upon what is the next step taken by the Iranian government, the US government and Israel governments as well.
But despite the broader stock market's positive sentiment, oil markets moved in the opposite direction. Brent crude futures fell about 3% to $69.40 a barrel, after earlier tumbling more than 4%. Meanwhile, the US West Texas Intermediate crude also slipped 3% to $66.48, hitting its lowest level in more than a week. This sentiment came as investors were relieved that Iran did not retaliate to a US attack on its nuclear facilities by throttling oil transport through the strategic Strait of Hormuz, and that Iran's retaliatory strike on a US base in Qatar caused no disruption to oil fields. But oil is not the only commodity that is facing a slump. Investors have also stepped away from traditional safe havens. Gold prices dropped to a near two-week low as risk appetite improved. Spot gold fell nearly 1% to $3,338 an ounce, while it hit its lowest level since June 11 earlier in the day. Meanwhile, US gold futures dropped 1.2%. In other precious markets, spot silver, platinum and palladium also slipped during the day following the ceasefire announcement. Now let's turn our attention to the currency markets. The US dollar slipped against most major currencies. Against the yen, the greenback was down nearly 0.5% at 145.45. The euro rose 0.23% to $1.16. Israel's shekel also jumped 1% against the dollar, while the Australian and New Zealand dollars also rose on the ceasefire news. Yet, amidst all this, only the digital currencies bucked the trend. Bitcoin rallied sharply, climbing past $106,000 on after the ceasefire announcement. This followed a brief dip below the $99,000 mark over the weekend, when the US struck 3 key nuclear sites in Iran. And as markets continue to digest the ceasefire developments, investors remain cautious and turn all their eyes on whether the truce holds and how geopolitical risks unfold in the days